So I took a vacation to the Oregon coast, and I thought I'd show you a little bit of my interactions with the ocean. Now, as a side note, before this really starts, thank you for clicking on this video, but also this video is just going to be me rambling over this footage, and that's what it is. Basically, I went up to the Oregon coast and we went to a few cool spots. This one is called the Devil's Punch Bowl, which is a big bowl that you have to walk down a cliff basically onto the beach to get to. But it was low tide, so we could actually go down and get inside of it. And while we were there, we got to see not only this massive bowl that sometimes the ocean fills with water, but we also got to check out the beach and the tide pools. I think it's really interesting how in Oregon, almost nobody on the beach was ever wearing a swimsuit. It seemed like people were there to walk around, to look at stuff, to find seashells. I found several seashells, but nobody was really there to swim, which is just a fun contrast to my experience with California beaches. But so, at the Devil's Punch Bowl, I had so much fun. There were so many rocks to walk up on, so many pieces of life to look at, so much sand to walk over, and it was really pretty. Really pretty. My dad kept finding seashells, and eventually I felt like I had to enter the seashell finding competition and actually find some for myself, but he was still way better at spotting them than I was, which is kind of embarrassing, but also he helped me find the really cool ones, and we found a ton, but then I ended up only taking a couple of them because I didn't want to just steal every seashell on the beach. I also felt kind of weird about walking in places where I wasn't sure if the things beneath my feet were alive and whether they would be hurt by my walking on them. So I tried to avoid things that looked greenish and life-ish as much as I could, but it was hard and it made me feel a little bit bad. Also, in my walking on rocks while holding my camera adventures, I did fall once and done goof myself up a little bit, but nothing disastrous happened. I'm, as you can see, just kind of telling some anecdotes because I don't really feel like waxing poetic right now, but I think you can imagine the kind of poetic things that could be said about a human standing in a literal bowl of rock that's massive compared to any human, and how small it makes us seem. But yeah, all those rocks, man, they were really fun to walk on. Also, the tide kept coming in through this little opening, and then people would be trying to take pictures right in front of it and then not realize that the tide was about to come in behind them, and then they'd freak out about their feet getting a little wet. And I totally did that a little bit when I was taking my picture there with the tide because it's fun. But yeah, the ocean is so cool and also scary. I always have found the ocean as a very scary concept. I recently watched The Impossible, which is a movie about a tsunami, and it made me even more afraid of water. But these tide pools made me much less afraid of water than I once was, because it like showed this like happy little life Finding Nemo side of the ocean existing, which I find makes me much more happy with the idea of the ocean and less afraid of it. Also, there's like so many cool different ways that life looks in the ocean and in water, and that's like pretty freaking amazing. And I was like really excited about it, so the footage is really jumpy, but like look at that. That is an alive thing. These are alive things. So many things that are alive. Oh my goodness. Also seashells. Always more seashells. The ocean is so cool. There was even a little fish in there, or a couple little fish, like actually moving around. You can see them moving around. And then there's an anemone, you know, just to make it super Nemo relevant. Yeah. And then like even on these rocks, all of this stuff looked alive. A lot of it looked alive. And yeah, it's just this little tide pool that also feels so massive because there's so much freaking life in it. I honestly just stared at this for like so long. But eventually we left, and on the way out, dude, I spotted this freaking crab claw and it just spooked me, but then we left. One of the next places we went was more civilized in that it was like a dock. But at the dock, they had this spot for all these freaking sea lions. God, I asked my parents so many times while we were there whether they were seals or sea lions, and I have forgotten. Again, I don't know which one they are. But dude, they're like so interesting to watch because they have these like petty little fights and you can't tell what it's about. But it seems like it would be about having space to lay down, because that seems to be what they're all very interested in. But I'm so intrigued by the social order of these sea creatures that I can't correctly identify. And yeah, it was super interesting to watch the ones like swimming around, being like, "Can I come up here?" And then everyone was like, "No, you cannot come on our slab of wood. It's ours." We also just like hung out at the beach and in this like cute downtown district by the beach, which was close to where we were staying and super fun and cute. And there were shops that were fun and cute, and I was coerced by myself into spending money that I should not have. And yeah, back over at the bay. Oh, also, in case you hadn't noticed, this footage isn't actually in a logical order. Back over at the bay, we also went to a brewery that was like right by all of these freaking boats. Dude, it's so weird that people live right by the ocean. Also, they have this big bridge in Newport, which is like the entry to the bay. And yeah, that was cool to look at because it's like such a small town. It feels so quaint, but they've still got this like massive, intense bridge. And like, I think pretty decent sized boats could make it into the harbor. I don't know if it's deep enough, but the bridge is definitely tall enough for some like respectably sized boats. Yeah. We also went to a lighthouse. I love lighthouses. I don't know. They're like such a cool existence. Another funny story. My family like doesn't usually pay for tours. We're such a like unplanned, no itinerary. We'll just wander around. There's like 2 or 3 things we're aware of. And so like there were tours at this lighthouse, but that would have required either planning or a big time commitment. And we were like, nah, we're just here to look at stuff. And then once we've looked at it, we're gonna go. But so this place also has tide pools, but this day we didn't get there at a good time to see them. So we didn't go all the way down to the beach. We just kind of looked at the beach, and there was a lot of cool like rocks formations happening out into the water, and those were pretty neat. But I find lighthouses so interesting because it's like such a cool but also very common reminder that humans have been like organizing to help each other out for so long. But also it's kind of like spoopy because I'm always like, this lighthouse no longer is really part of our lived experience or part of anyone's lived experience. Nobody operates it. Nobody is maintaining it really. It's like supposed to be extremely self-sufficient, and then people just come to tour it as a historical object, which I don't know. If I were a lighthouse, I wouldn't like that as much. I like stories that are happening right now, or that feel like they're happening right now. Like this vlog is basically happening right now for you, but I took this footage a month ago, maybe even a tiny bit more, about a month ago. And I just wanted to show you the ocean because I took some video of it and I want to be able to look at the video later, you know? And yeah, that's what the Oregon coast looks like. Those are some of the little things that I did while I was there. And yeah, I did go to the beach one time with the swimsuit on, and I did spot a couple other people with swimsuits on. But also, you could see the lighthouse in the distance. But also, this was like sandy sand, and that was like water that some people ran into, even though I don't think I got that on camera. But people were doing beachy stuff at this beach, which was fun. Okay, that's the end. Sup guys, I'm recording audio right now, which is why I'm in the bathroom, because there are no doors in my apartment besides bathroom doors. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching that. I hope you found the anecdotes somewhat entertaining. I just really wanted to get this video up because I have like 8 videos that I have somewhat or totally filmed but not edited, just like sitting around, so I just need to finish some of them. So thanks for putting up with this less polished video. And this is the end screen. If you enjoyed it, you're the best. Leave a comment, let me know why, so that I can do more of that part. And yeah, it would be cool if you followed me on social media or watched another video, but also just thank you for watching this one. Bye.